Every one of us carries weakness inside, fear that stops us, habits that drain us, excuses that blind us. But weakness is not your identity. It is only a shadow. And shadows disappear when you step into the light of strength. Today, I challenge you to stop running from your weakness and start destroying it. Because the moment you face it, the moment you fight it, that is the moment you rise into your true power. When you hear the word weakness, it often stirs emotions that many try to bury. Weakness feels like shame. It feels like failure. It feels like standing in front of a mirror and seeing the parts of yourself you wish did not exist. For some, it may be the fear of speaking in front of others. For others, it may be the inability to control anger. Or perhaps it is the habit of procrastination that quietly steals time and dreams. Whatever it is, weakness does not only sit in the body, it sits in the heart. It whispers lies that say you are not enough. You cannot change. You are not strong enough to rise. That is why acknowledging weakness is so difficult. It is not just about admitting a flaw, it is about facing the emotions that come with it. Now, but the truth is, you cannot destroy what you will not acknowledge. Hiding weakness behind a mask of pride or excuses only gives it more power. Every time you pretend it does not exist, every time you cover it with false confidence, weakness tightens its grip. The bravest step you can take is to look it in the eye and say, "This is real. This is mine, and I will not run from it anymore." That single moment of honesty is the first strike in the battle to become stronger. Think about the times in your life when weakness has cost you opportunities. Think about the jobs you did not pursue, the dreams you delayed, the relationships you damaged because you did not want to admit that part of you needed work. These memories hurt because they carry regret, but regret can be a powerful teacher if you let it push you toward growth rather than bury you in guilt. Every human being has weakness. That is not something to be ashamed of. The real shame is in refusing to face it. When you acknowledge your weakness, you open the door to transformation. The fear of failure begins to lose its voice. The excuses begin to fade, and a new strength begins to rise. You start to realize that weakness is not a permanent label. It is simply an area waiting for growth. Just as a muscle grows when it is trained, the parts of you that feel weak can be trained, shaped, and strengthened. But none of this can happen without the courage to be honest with yourself. I want you to imagine standing at the edge of a road that leads to your future. At your feet lies a heavy stone labeled with your weakness. You have two choices. You can drag that stone with you, letting it slow you down, or you can lift it, carry it, and let it train you to be stronger. The weight of weakness can either break you or build you. The difference lies in whether you choose to acknowledge it or ignore it. So I ask you today, what is the weakness you have been afraid to face? What is the shadow that you allow to hold you back? Do not run from it any longer. Do not deny its presence. Stand tall, look it in the eye, and take ownership of it. Because the moment you acknowledge your weakness with honesty and courage, you no longer walk in its shadow. You begin the journey of destroying it and stepping into the strength that has always been within you. Every weakness carries within it the seed of strength. What often feels like the heaviest burden can become the very reason you rise higher than you ever imagined. Weakness does not mean the end of your story. It means the beginning of a transformation. The greatest champions, the most inspiring leaders, the people who left their mark on this world were not free of weakness. They were human just like you. The difference is that they made a decision. They decided not to let weakness define them, but to use it as fuel to build strength. Think about how a wound heals. At first, it hurts, it stings, and it makes you feel fragile. But over time, the body works to repair it. And in the place of pain grows tougher skin. The same happens with if you face it, work on it, and refuse to surrender to it, the very thing that once hurt you can become your strongest feature. Imagine the person who once feared speaking in front of others. With effort and practice, that same person can one day inspire thousands with their words. Picture the student who once failed in studies. With discipline and persistence, that same student can become a scholar who teaches others. Weakness is not a wall. It is a doorway. It is a challenge placed before you so you can grow through it. When you feel weak, emotions rise. Frustration, shame, and even anger fill the heart. You may ask yourself, why am I not good enough? Why do I always fall short? Why can others do it and not me? These questions are heavy, but they are also the sparks that can light a fire. They remind you that you care about becoming better. Pain of weakness can either crush you or shape you. That choice belongs to you. The truth is that strength is not born in comfort. It is created in struggle. When you look at your weakness and say, I will train this, I will master this, I will turn this into my power, you step into a different version of yourself. Each small step forward is proof that weakness can be reshaped. A voice that once trembled can learn to command respect. Hands that once shook with fear can build something lasting. A heart that once doubted itself can grow unshakable confidence. Do not despise your weakness. Thank it. Because without it, you would never have the chance to discover how strong you can become. Weakness is a teacher. It shows you where the work must be done. It points to the exact place where growth is waiting. And once you decide to face it, to train it, to transform it, weakness no longer has the power to control you. So I ask you to reflect. What is the weakness that has been holding you back? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Is it hesitation? Imagine if you chose today to work on it instead of hiding from it. Imagine if you used every stumble as a lesson, every failure as practice, every setback as training. Soon you will see that what once felt like your greatest limitation has become your greatest weapon. Weakness is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of your strength. The choice is in your hands. Will you let weakness define you, or will you turn it into the very power that carries you to your destiny? Weakness is not destroyed in the safety of comfort. It grows in the places where life feels easy and predictable. The comfort zone feels warm, it feels safe, but it quietly steals your potential. It tells you that you do not need to try harder. You do not need to push. You do not need to change. It whispers that staying the same is enough. But deep inside, you know that comfort is a trap. You know that every dream you hold, every goal you imagine, lives outside that circle of ease. If you remain inside, weakness will continue to rule you. If you step out, even with fear in your chest and doubt in your mind, you begin to build strength. Think about a time in your life when you were faced with something uncomfortable. Maybe it was the first time you spoke in front of a group. Maybe it was the moment you decided to try something new without knowing if you would succeed. Your heart raced, your palms sweated, your thoughts screamed to run away. Yet when you pushed through, when you stayed in that discomfort, you discovered something powerful. You realized you could do it. You realized fear was smaller than it looked. And in that moment, weakness lost its grip on you. Human emotions in those moments are intense. Fear makes your chest heavy. Doubt makes your mind restless. You feel exposed, as if everyone can see your uncertainty. That is why most people run back to comfort. They choose safety instead of growth. But if you choose to face discomfort, if you stay in that fire long enough, something inside you changes. Confidence grows, strength rises. The very thing you feared becomes the proof of your courage. Every great achievement in life demands a price. That price is the willingness to leave behind what is easy. Athletes push their bodies past exhaustion. Leaders take risks when the outcome is uncertain. Innovators fail countless times before success arrives. They all understand one truth: weakness cannot survive in the heat of discomfort. When you push past what feels safe, you create space for strength to grow. Comfort is tempting because it hides the pain of effort, but it also hides the joy of progress. When you step outside of it, every struggle you face becomes a tool to shape you. The challenge that made you afraid yesterday becomes a skill that sets you apart tomorrow. The weakness that once defined you becomes the testimony of your growth. So ask yourself, are you living inside the walls of comfort, or are you daring to step beyond them? Are you allowing weakness to grow by staying safe, or are you destroying it by embracing the uncomfortable path of growth? Your answer will determine who you become. Weakness feeds on comfort. Strength is born in discomfort. Do not allow your life to be wasted inside a cage that feels safe, but keeps you small. Step out, even if your legs shake. Step out, even if your voice trembles. Step out, because that is where greatness lives. Every time you walk into discomfort, you chip away at weakness, and every time you keep walking, you become stronger than you were yesterday. Weakness is not destroyed in a single moment. It does not vanish just because you make a decision one time. It is destroyed through daily choices, small actions that add up and shape who you become. Strength is not built in one giant leap. It is built step by step, brick by brick, day after day. Every choice you make either feeds your weakness or weakens its hold over you. That is why commitment to daily action is the key. Without consistency, your dreams remain distant and your weakness remains alive. Think about how habits are formed. If you wake each day and decide to take one step forward, even when you feel tired, even when your mind tells you it is easier to stop, you are training yourself to rise above weakness. These little victories are powerful because they tell your mind that you are in control. They tell your heart that you are stronger than your excuses. The emotions that come with this journey are very real. At times, you will feel discouraged when progress seems slow. You will feel frustrated when results do not appear as quickly as you want them to. You may even feel anger at yourself for slipping back into old patterns. But these feelings are not signs of failure. They are proof that you are fighting, and that fight itself is how weakness begins to crumble. Every person has a choice each day. You can choose to listen to the voice that says, stay in bed, give up, it does not matter. Or you can choose to listen to the voice that says, get up, try again, take one more step. The difference may seem small in the moment, but over time, it becomes the gap between those who succeed and those who stay stuck. Strength is not built by what you do occasionally. It is built by what you do consistently. There is something deeply human about the struggle to keep going. The emotions of fatigue, doubt, and impatience weigh heavily. Yet inside every person is also the desire to overcome, to break free, to prove that weakness does not control them. Daily action gives that desire a path. Each time you choose to keep going, you silence the doubt. Each time you show up, even when you do not feel like it, you send a message to yourself that weakness is losing. Imagine what your life would look like if, for the next year, you chose to take action every single day. Imagine the skills you would build, the confidence you would gain, the strength you would feel. Weakness would no longer have space to grow because your habits and your discipline would be stronger than any excuse. The transformation would not come in a single breakthrough moment, but in the steady, determined steps that create lasting change. So I ask you to commit to the daily fight. Do not wait for the perfect day, the perfect mood, or the perfect chance. Begin with what you have, where you are, and keep moving. Every day you take action is another day. Weakness loses. Every day you choose strength, you get closer to the life you dream of. The path is not easy, but the reward is freedom. And freedom comes when weakness no longer has the power to hold you back. Weakness is not your destiny. It is only a chapter in your story. You have the power to face it, to shape it, and to rise above it. You have the strength to turn fear into courage, doubt into confidence, and hesitation into action. Every moment of honesty, every step into discomfort, every choice you make, each day writes the story of who you are becoming. And do not let weakness control your future. Do not let it chain you to the past. Stand tall, claim your strength, and decide today that weakness will no longer define your life. The power to destroy it is already within you. All it takes is the courage to begin and the commitment to keep moving forward. So go and face it. Go and fight it. Go and destroy the weakness and rise into the strength that was always waiting inside you.